Second-year head football coach in Lincoln. That, of course, is our pal, Matt Rhule. Coach, appreciate the time as always. How you been?
I'm doing great. I love your shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I am wearing a Nebraska polo today. I'm probably not equipped to operate your mat drills and be on your strength staff, but I do look like I could be on your strength staff today.
There's no doubt. We would be honored to have you on the sideline with us, my friend.
Hey, just pay me in runzas, and I don't even need any money. All right, that's all I need is a runza. Those things are delicious.
Fantastic. They're fantastic.
So let me start you off with what you sense from your team this offseason. You've been through college football for so many years. You know what the jump is from year one to year two when you take over a program. What have you sensed, though, from your team this past offseason, Matt?
I think they realize that they're good. You know, they're a bigger team than last year. They're a stronger team than last year. They're more, I don't want to say disciplined, but they know what they're doing kind of in our system more than they did last year. And even the disappointing 5 and 7 year, in year one, we had lots of opportunities to win those other games. And so, bring in some more players, develop the players that you have. I think our guys walk around knowing, hey, I think we have a pretty good team, and obviously we have to go do it. But I sense a confidence about them from the work they put in and from where they think they are.
Now, I've watched your press conferences, others on your staff, players as well. I know you guys are hammering home protecting the football. You guys would have been in a bowl game last year if you could have protected the football. Is that something you could teach, or is it just you have to emphasize it and even at times overemphasize it until you see your team protect the football on the field?
Yeah, I think it's all three. I think you have to teach it. I mean, so many, if you're a bad coach, you just yell about the results, right? Like, I don't turn the ball over, but tell me why, do we throw the ball the wrong place? Do we run the wrong route? Are we not holding the ball correctly? So we try to teach it and teach it again and again and again. We try to emphasize it, drill it. And I think the biggest thing is when it starts to come from the players, not waiting until the ball's on the ground, but, when a guy's not carrying the ball properly, they're hearing it from their teammates. The guys on defense they're going after it. I think that's important. So, it was a historically bad year in terms of turning the ball over last year. And, if you don't learn from that, then you're a fool. And so we refuse to be foolish.
Matt Rhule here with us, the second-year head football coach at Nebraska. Everyone, when they talk about your program now, it starts with Dylan Raiola. What have your impressions been so far, the youngster?
Well, I mean, he's a winner. He understands the game. He's thinking about the game, all the time. He studied everything. If a receiver lines up wrong, I mean, he knows it. A lot of guys, when they're that age, they're playing kind of, not clear-minded because they just know what they're supposed to do. But Dylan knows what every guy on the field is supposed to do because he's put so much time and work in, and so he's like I said, he loves to compete. He loves playing. He loves practicing, and I think that's contagious, and it's good to have from him.
I listened to the entirety of his press conference the other day. Now, when I was 19, I was confident, but I was also immature. It seems like he has the perfect blend of confidence and maturity. It doesn't seem like he's a freshman when I hear him speak at a podium.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job the other day, and I think a lot of that is really him understanding that it's not all about him, right? It's about the team. It's about winning. He didn't come here to make himself a household name, though obviously we all want those things, right? He came here to restore Nebraska, to be a part of restoring Nebraska to its glory. His father played here. It means something to him. He has pictures of himself when he was little, and that's really a lot of the guys on our team. We have guys who came back, who didn't go to the NFL. They came back for another year, even though I told them not to. I said, go to the NFL, make some money. I mean, they came back because this place means so much to them personally. And so Dylan's another one of those guys like that. So I think when he gets up there and talks, he doesn't want the spotlight all on him. He wants it on his teammates because he knows it's going to take everybody for us to be successful.
And I think that's so important for him to have those traits because, like, you even saw a little bit of it. And I know you joined us the day he decided to commit to Nebraska and flip from Georgia. And you talked about the comparisons of Patrick Mahomes. And then he walks into fall camp looking just like Patrick Mahomes. And, man, that was a social media craze. And he hasn't even played a regular season game yet. So the way that he managed all that, I thought was pretty neat and important because, some kids, there's a lot of hype, and the hype could actually ruin them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for all of these guys is to realize that, like, hey, when you're in the spotlight in a positive way, it's fun. I mean, it can almost be addicting, right? Like you love the attention. But if you start, all of us, if we start doing things for the pleasure and approval of others, we're never really going to be happy. And so, I think the great thing about Dylan, I think the great thing about our players is, we try to always turn things back into the locker room. Hey, making life about your family, making life about your future, making life about your teammates and your team. And so, I thought he did a good job of that, even in those moments. But sure, if you're 19 years old and you're getting tweeted at by ESPN, I mean, who wouldn't love those things? But at the same time, he's done a good job of making it the team.
Matt Rhule here with us. Would you say he has earned the trust and respect of his teammates already?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I think he's a great teammate. He's a hard worker. I mean, in this day and age, players respect production. I mean, they respect production, but they still respect the guys who come in and put the most work in. And we kind of have that blue collar type team. Like this team, Zach, this is a lot like those Temple teams we had. Like this is kind of like, this is kind of, if you want to coach and play in Philly and you want people to respect you in Philly, you better be tough and you better work. And I'd say it's the same thing here in Nebraska. If you want people hardworking, tough people, if you want them to respect your football team, you better have those types of players. And so Dylan, all of our guys, I think they've done a great job of they do that, and they are part of the ethos of this state.
Matt Rhule here with us. Just with what you saw from the spring now as we get closer and closer to the fall and go through the summer, have you seen Dylan just grow in the short time you've had with him so far?
Well, I think anytime you're a freshman player, I think you have to you kind of learn, then you relearn the same thing, and you just keep doing it until it becomes like second nature. And I think what you're seeing when you see him out there now is you're seeing a guy that's probably been through it for the second or third time, all the play calls, all the situations, all the way we do things. And the one thing I've tried to encourage him to do is embrace when things don't go well. So many quarterbacks, you look at them, they're phenoms. Some of them don't have a bad day till they get drafted, and all of a sudden they're a bust as a first round draft pick. And everybody's like, how did that happen? Well, maybe they didn't know how to handle frustration. Maybe they didn't know how to handle the hard. The ones who make it, to me, you look at them. You look at like Brock Purdy. You look at Tom Brady and all the adversity he went through at Michigan. The same for Aaron Rodgers. Junior college to Cal. You look at Drew Brees coming up, through Purdue, back before Purdue was really a power. I mean, these guys, Patrick Mahomes having to carry, Texas Tech on his back each and every week. Being the 5-star recruit who goes to the 5-star school and nothing's ever hard, and all of a sudden you get to the NFL and you get hit in the face and you don't have a great team in front of you and you struggle. I've tried to really embrace Dylan to encourage Dylan to embrace the process, to embrace adversity, to embrace when things don't go well, to lean into it, not to pull away. So many of us, we pull away from things when they're uncomfortable, but to lean into it. And so his maturity has allowed him to do that. And I think it's what, makes him viable and ready to play as a freshman.
And everyone's excited to see Dylan play. I know you're in a quarterback competition right now. Is there any update on what's going on with that quarterback competition?
Yeah, I mean, Dylan's done a great job. I mean, he's played really, really well. We're blessed also. You understand how football is. Everyone's fighting to compete. We have Heinrich Harburg who won 5 games last year at the University of Nebraska, and which not many people have done recently. And he and Dylan have this amazing relationship, but are also fighting tooth and nail to be the guy on the field. And then we have Danny Kalen, who's another elite recruit, who's probably one of the fastest processors I've ever seen. So we have probably one of the best quarterback rooms I've ever been a part of. And they're all fighting with each other right now, but in a good way. And so, they all get their reps. So, when the time comes, we'll make a decision. But, I'm looking at things nowadays as with this new expanded playoff, Zach. I need to have guys ready for game 12, then hopefully go a bowl game or Big Ten championship game 13, maybe get into the playoffs at some point. So I'm trying to build depth, and the guys are hanging along with me with it.
Now, I saw you said the other week that you think 4 teams should get in each and every year in the Big Ten. I'd be surprised if that's not the case. I know Paul Feinbaum, our buddy, went after you a little bit for that, and I may have said some not nice things about Paul. But that's a different topic for another day. But on that topic, just expand a little bit more on that thought, why you think the Big Ten should get at least 4 teams each and every year.
You have a 12-team playoff, right? And I think 4 teams from the Big Ten, and I think 4 teams from the SEC should get in. I don't even think there's a debate about it. Like, you basically just took some of the best teams in the country and would normally be part of our non-con. You took Oregon, you took Washington, you took USC and UCLA, and you put them into our conference. And so, I think if you go through this conference and you emerge 10-2, 11-1, 9-3, even maybe some years even 8-4, depending on who you've played. It's like the NFL, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, unfortunately, sometimes someone gets in from the weakest conference in the NFL, but the wild card allows you to get more from the better conferences. And the Big Ten and the SEC are the standard bearers right now. That's no disrespect to the Big 12. I was a part of it. No disrespect to the ACC. But that's just unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at college football, the way things have gone. And so if you're going to play the best schedules, then you take into account the Big Ten. I mean, we're playing 9 conference games. This year, like, we play 5 road conference games. Some of these other conferences play 8. And again, I'm not hating on them. They that's their own business. But the Big Ten's hard. It's cold. It's physical. And so, yeah, 4 teams from this league should get in every year. 4 teams from the SEC should get in every year, and then if it expands to 14, then they can figure it out then. But yeah, I know, and I think most people that really, really study it know it as well. And we all have jobs to do. We all have to say certain things, but I don't think there's a lot of people that actually really debate what I said.
Matt Rhule here with us for a few more moments. Let me get to your defense. So in your previous stops, whether it was at Temple or Baylor in college, you've always had Phil Snow with you, but you've had other rock stars emerge on your staff, whether it's a Fran Brown, Elijah Robinson, and what they've gone on to do. The other day I was talking to Josh Perry. I knew from watching last year how good of a defensive coach Tony White is, but man, it seems like day by day he's starting to get more and more praise nationally. What does Coach Tony White bring to your defense?
Well, he should get a lot of praise nationally because he's the guy. He's elite. And we're one of those teams that still practices physically on defense. We still hit and strike and get up blocks and run to the ball at practice. I'm not saying other people don't, but we do it every day. And so our guys, they buy into it. And then you have this creative mind in Tony's that puts together a system that's really, really hard to go against. I know because I watch our offense go against it every day, and it's really difficult. And then you have great players. You have Tommy Hill is one of the best corners in the country. We have one of the best D lines in the country, led by Temple made Terrence Knighton. We have linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, great safety play. So we're really talented, and at the same time, we also have a swagger about us that Tony brings out, and a really difficult system to go against.
Last year, your defense was so good. Your offense, like we talked about, the turnovers, they can't happen again. Like, if we're on a seesaw here, is it still this is a defensive team first, or is the offense starting to catch up here?
Oh, the offense is definitely catching up. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's a lot of even practices right now, and I can feel myself sometimes at practice out there, Zach, getting after the defense. Like, then I watch the tape and they're doing all the same things they were doing. We're just better on offense. We're a year more developed. The offensive line's bigger, stronger. Now we had a huge injury yesterday. Our starting left tackle, Teddy Brahaska, unfortunately tore his knee. But we have guys behind him who can play, and our tight ends are a year stronger. We've got 5 or 6 backs that we can put in the game. Our skill outside at receiver is probably one of the best rooms I've ever been around. So it's not just about hitting one position. I think we're just better across the board, whether it's the guys that played for us last year just being a year older, or the guys we've added in. So I think I'm always going to have a defensive team. We're always going to play defense, but at the same time, I think we'll have the chance to score points, and certainly won't be where we were last year.
I respect that you're in a competition right now for your quarterback, and right all around the rest of the team as well. But if game 1 was tomorrow, like, would you feel confident if it was okay? We're going to start Dylan Raiola, and that's his first snap is tomorrow in a college football game.
Yeah, I'd feel I have nothing but confidence in Dylan, and to your point, I have nothing but confidence in those other 2 quarterbacks as well. But yeah, Dylan, to me, this is these climbs. Sometimes people think like it goes like this, right? But usually in life, everything kind of goes up, down, up, down. So when you play a freshman quarterback, and I've done it twice. I did it with PJ Walker at Temple. I did it with Charlie Brewer at Baylor. You have to be willing to ride the highs and the lows. And the last thing you want is quarterbacks playing afraid, And so we're saying in one stretch, hey, we don't want to turn the ball over, but hey, we also want to be explosive. Well, that's actually a metric called toxic differential, and we want to be explosive. And so there's going to be some times where maybe we turn the ball over. We just don't want to turn the ball over in the ways we turned it over last year. So I think all three of our quarterbacks understand that, but I know Dylan certainly does. And if he goes out there game one, he'll be ready.
Coach Matt Rhule, second year at Nebraska. Some big expectations there as they're looking to return to a bowl game this season. Coach, we appreciate it and good luck coming up in 25 days up against UTEP.
If you come to a game this year, bring some bagels.
We will definitely bring some New York bagels. There is no doubt about that. Coach, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Go Big Red.